and every one of you. So good to see so many of you joining us this evening. From wherever you're joining us from, I see Beatrice is with us, Selby, on YouTube. She's in the suburbs. I see Rupert August. Rupert, how are you doing? So good to see you, Rupert. I see also Suzanne McDonald is here as well. And we got Prince, is it Herod or Harold Bryan? Good to see each and every one of you, all of the folks like Lena Prince who joining us, whether they're joining us on Twitter. We call that the Bel Air of social media, the bourgeoisie of social media, or you guys are joining us on YouTube, and of course we call that the suburbs. And then we got Facebook, and Facebook, folks, that is the ghetto, and it's just the way we like it, just the way we like it. If our audio sounds a little off, we're still working on that, but thank God we got a program for you guys this evening, and quite an interesting evening ahead of you, folks. We have some quite a few persons who are going to be joining us this evening. Team Harmon, or rather an ensemble of Team Harmon. Joseph Harmon himself is going to be joining us, and some other members of his team, and we're going to be talking a little bit about his campaign. And we hope that you guys are great wherever you are. I see Onesta Wardine is with us, and Kesh Sharma, Wilton Blue, all the usual suspects. Mark Allman. Good night to each and every one of you guys. Trust that you guys have had a great day, whether it's at work. And like us here in the ring, you are overcoming your challenges. You are surmounting your challenges. You see, we've had some setbacks last evening, but we're recalibrating things and still tweaking the show to get it just right. We want it pitch perfect for each and every one of you. Rose Kendall says she is locked in. Guys, you know, as you come on, you got to share the live stream. And because we have a huge program ahead of us this evening, we are not going to waste any time getting into the fight card. But just before we do that, we want to say hello to Alvin Prince. And I see Tasha Sillett is here as well. I see Chisholm Henry. I see O'Neill Vanessa Yonette is here as well. Michelle McKay and all of the other folks. Kim Clark, Shalon Joseph. Fantastic, beautiful people out there. Great to see each and every one of you guys. And it is because of you. It is because of you. We are constantly tweaking our program. We're constantly trying to improve for you guys. We love having you guys here. We love having your support. And, you know, we've invited you guys to come on board and to partner with us and help us to continue to build out our program, help us to continue to improve our program. We need your help, each and every one of you guys, and you know the platforms that are available. So Rowena Cummins, good to see you there, and Kim Walker, Kesh Sharma, all you beautiful, fantastic folks. I see John Raymond is here as well, Samantha Gills, and guys, you know, as you come on, we always encourage you guys to share the live stream. This program is powered by you. This program is powered by each and every one of you. Spurry Lee, where is Spurry Lee this evening? I had the privilege of meeting one of our valid viewers just today, Spurry Lee, and my God, I am so happy. We got some very, very in tune, energetic, enthusiastic Ringsiders, and guys, I love and appreciate each and every one of you. Yes, Edwin Best. Yes, Alexis Arthur. Yes, Norma Jones, Michelle McKay, and Jacqueline, all you other fantastic folks, Nicole Yaw. Once you hear I call one name, no, it gone by so fast. I barely caught it. Danielle Passard. Good to see you, Danielle, and Ariel. I always forget Ariel's surname, but Danielle's sister Ariel, and all you fantastic folks, your grandmother, and all you beautiful folks, guys, you know, as you come on, we always ask that you share the live stream. Guys, you're just seeing a tip of the iceberg. I know last night when we came on, my God, 6 minutes we were on, we got 413 shares out of 6 minutes. I know what that says to us. That says to us that the Ringsiders like what they are seeing. And guys, you're going to be hearing less and less of this echo as time goes by. And guys, this is all because of you. This is all because of you coming on board and partnering with us. And every time you do that with your $5 US, your $10 US, your $15 US, your $20 US. You enable us to do so much more, and we want to keep doing it for you guys because we know that our Ringsiders, you guys deserve nothing but the very, very best. Let's head to the fight card. So much in store for you guys. Thanks for joining us once more. Trust you guys have had a great day. Whether you're joining us on Twitter, you're joining us on YouTube, you're joining us on Facebook. If you're joining us from a Sherry Duncan Facebook page, Sherry Avery Duncan, follow that page. You're joining us from Christopher Jones, do the same. You're joining us on the Apnu AFC page, hit that follow. You're joining us from the Alliance for Change page, hit that follow button. Wherever you're joining us from, ensure you follow that page so that you get the notification when we come on here. It's a privilege here being before you, giving you the credible information, the valid news. Guys, thanks for having us in your homes, on your smartphones, as you go to work, as you go home, in the marketplace. You know, I pulled up to a fast food place just this afternoon, and the young woman says, "It's you?" I said, "Yes, it's me." She said, "Well, I ain't catch you these couple of nights because the phone ain't working too good." She said, "And I borrowed the chair and the phone, but the chair and phone ain't catching it good. So I missed you a couple of days, but I still catch up on the program." You know, guys, you don't know how we're so heartened when we hear things like that. When we hear that you guys are receiving us so well at your end, we are good to have each and every one of you, Carlet Phoenix and Estelle, Junior Williams, Miller, and all you other fantastic folks, guys. So let's see what we have on the fight card this evening for each and every one of you. And we start with some news from around the world. We start with some news from around the world. And we are picking up this bit of information from the World Bank. The World Bank official had quite a few interesting things to say quite recently, and his name is Carlos Felipe Geramalo. Carlos Felipe Geramalo, and he's a World Bank official. And guys, you know, we've been talking recently a lot about climate change and how climate change is affecting all the countries of the world, inclusive of our country. It's a major developmental issue as we go forward. And what this World Bank official, Carlos Felipe Geramalo, was saying quite recently, he was saying that countries very shortly will have to dedicate more than 5% of their gross domestic product to the issue of climate change, and especially coastal mitigation. This means that the ocean is going to be coming more and more and more inland, and we have to do something about that. But the figure he put to that was more than 5% of your GDP. And that is why we're saying this evening that very shortly you will see this whole issue of climate change and coastal mitigation eating into, or rather eroding more and more of our gross domestic product, as more and more of our monies got to be spent on, again, coastal mitigation. And that is some of the news we're picking up that we thought should interest you from around the world, guys. A lot of people name calling. A lot of people name calling. And if a lot of people name calling, guys, you know, the Jagabats gonna be featuring heavy. Keshami, your name calling. Michelle Gittins, your name calling as well. Coretta Billington, my friend and my sister, your name calling. Listen, folks, it's not about your name calling, you know. Orlando and Alvin Prince and all you fantastic folks. Once your name calling for the right reason, Orlando Grant, you don't have to be worried. But a lot of people name calling this evening. And let's turn our attention to some of these Jagabats. Let us turn our attention to the Jagabats. You all know them. Irfaan and the whole Catfish crew. Let us turn all our attention to the Jagabats. And in the area of oil and gas, valid viewers, credible comments, we want to see those shares. In the area of oil and gas, for instance, we stumble on this Jagabat, Sham Nakta. Now, these guys, the PPP, they don't like something that is called the environmental impact assessment. They don't like that at all. environmental impact assessment is give them belly work. And usually, when you have major projects rather, like the new Demerara Harbor Bridge, like some of the drilling that ExxonMobil is doing out at sea there, huge projects of that nature, you have to undertake what is called an environmental impact assessment, an EIA. No, they don't want to do that at all. They don't like that word, EIA, that acronym. They don't like it. They don't like that phrase, environmental impact assessment. And according to law, when these big projects are being done, they have to have an independent EIA done. Now, what was found recently is Sham Nokta name was on one of these EIAs. Now, if he is a PPP, his whole family is PPP, but he especially is PPP, how can he be independent? Folks, you all see this skullduggery happening in this country? It is total confunction nonsense. Total confunction nonsense. And quite recently, there was an environmental specialist who had some thoughts on the very matter. An environmental specialist, and her name is Simone Mangal. And she was pointing out the very issue. She said, how can they be independent if they have all of these party affiliation? I want to actually quote part of what Ms. Mangal said, Simone Mangal, the environmentalist. She says, rather, there seems to be a long relationship between this firm, SO, that again is undertaking this EIA, and the Environmental Protection Agency in Guyana, as it keeps selecting the same firm to study, to do studies rather for SO. Ms. Mangal went on, the EPA Act, listen to this now carefully, the EPA Act, the Environmental Protection Agency Act, requires that the firm is independent. And Mangal went on to state, you cannot claim independence if you have a long-standing relationships doing study for the applicant, which is SO, because of the financial relationship. So that is the kind of wool that this installed administration is attempting to pull over our eyes. But we having it. So Sam Nakta, SO, your name calling in issues concerning conflict of interest. Somebody tag Sham Nakta. Somebody share this program back to his profile and let Sham know his name calling. But this is how the PPP operates, ladies and gentlemen. And if you think they operate any differently, we are only fooling ourselves. This is how the Jagabats operate. And Sham Nakta, he's a Jagabat. He's a Jagabat. That is who he be. He's a Jagabat. Folks, signs of the times. Signs of the times. And this next story here, it's quite interesting. Look, sometimes when people call you out your house, stay inside. Sometimes when people call you out of your house, folks, stay inside. Signs of the times. Here, what happened in this story? There was a man who was recently killed while trying to remove his friend's car from a trench. Signs of the times, folks. Hear how this man got his death innocently. The man's name is Seeram Jainarain. He's 28. He's also known as a Cash. And he's from an area called Tushan North, Essequibo Bank, right? East Bank of Essequibo, rather. And Mr. Seeram was responding to a request by his friend, Orlando Braffett, who resides in Georgetown. Now, Orlando had a mishap, and Orlando's car veered off the road and into a trench. Poor Mr. Seeram Jainarain gone to help out his friend because he had the requisite vehicle. I think it was one of those. Let me put it quickly. Yes, he had a canter truck that had a crane on it that could help his friend to retrieve his car from the trench. And as Mr. Jainarain was trying to do that, he did not realize that in that trench were some exposed electrical wires. I don't know if people are thieving current or what happening, but according to the news report, Seeram Jainarain was trying to help out his friend Orlando Braffett when he came into contact with these exposed electrical wires and was electrocuted. Signs of the times, folks. Signs of the times. The other issue we're looking at. Remember telling you we're looking at the Jagabats? We got to look at the Jagabats. Another issue we're looking at. Do you remember quite recently, Irfaan had a press conference? If you want to call it that. All of Irfan's engagement with the public, bizarre. Bizarre to say the least. And so he was talking about how crime has been reduced to 19.4%. That is what Irfaan said. 19.4%. Well, one gentleman, Mr. Clinton Conway, former Assistant Commissioner of Police, said, no. Y'all are not painting a true picture of where the crime statistics are really. And what Mr. Conway said is quite interesting. Largely what he said, these Jagabats here, catfish, they are not painting a true picture of exactly where crime is. And let me just read a paragraph of this report in which it says that in some instances, there is a decrease of certain kinds of crimes that are being reported for the period under review. But he says that crime is still way, way too high in other instances. But what was interesting about what former Assistant Commissioner of Police Clinton Conway said is when he noted that where is the baseline that we're using to say this is high and this is low. Clinton Conway says, I am wary of reading and listening to the stats as the presenters give the impression that crime is under control, when in reality, that is not so. And what is interesting about what Mr. Conway said, he said that you are saying to us, you are trying to fool us. We big, but we ain't stupid. He said, you're telling me crime under control, but we're not feeling that. It's like how they're telling us, oh, we're the largest growing economy in South America. We ain't feeling that in our pockets. We're not feeling that in our pockets. And that is what Clinton Conway said about crime. He said, you're telling us crime going down, but we don't feel safe. As a matter of fact, we feel even less safe since these Jagabats took office August 2nd, 2020. And here is what is another interesting thing that Clinton Conway said about how the government is approaching looking at crime. He said that since way back when Laurie Lewis was Commissioner of Police, he came up with this list of what he considers serious crimes. Clinton Conway says, folks, I do not know what yardstick Commissioner Lewis used to come up with his list of serious crime. But after Commissioner Lewis demitted office, the police continued to use his serious crimes formula. A quick look at that list will reveal, apart from rape, no other serious crime, apart from rape, no other offense relating to domestic violence is catered for. Drug trafficking is not listed. Trafficking in person is not listed. Fraud is not listed. On the serious crimes, simple larceny is not listed. Conspiracy to defraud, which Soko likes to target, and many other serious offenses are not listed as part of the serious crimes. So what Clinton Conway says, former Assistant Commissioner of Police, that these lists of things that you're looking at as serious crimes aren't a true reflection of serious crimes in Guyana. And that's very, very insightful there. So this 19.4% that Irfaan them bragging about, you and I know that is not a true reflection of where crime is, the crime rate in this country, because we feel less safe. And they can put that in the pipe and smoke it. We have no apologies. We feel less safe. And that is that. So Irfaan and this big 19.4, and then at the same time saying that Saturday is high risk Saturday. Where we going with them? Saturday is high risk Saturday. And if it's not crime, it's COVID. The two C's. Frankie name calling. If it's not crime, it's COVID. COVID out of control this country. And they're trying to tell us, just like crime, everything is nice and dandy. Everything is under control. But you and I know that that is not so. You and I feel that every day. Now, on the COVID front, you know what they're telling us now? You all remember the American says, once you take Sputnik like me, you can't come. Once you take the Sputnik V, the one that Al Maktoum overpriced and sell us. Yeah, the Sheikh. Dalmood, Al Maktoum, the same thing the Sheikh sold us. The Americans said, don't come wrong, we funny with that. So now the government, the installed regime, Catfish and the crew, they're hoping that if they give the Johnson & Johnson single dose, the booster, they want to boost you up. They need a real boosting. Yeah, I see some of them recently, they can take a boost. They are hoping that when they give this Johnson & Johnson booster, they got no agreement with the Americans, but they are hoping when they give this booster shot, that's a passport. That's visa number 2 to forward to the States. That is what they are hoping. There is no agreement with the Americans on that, but they're hoping that when they give this Johnson & Johnson booster shot, they're going to help them out. That is the hope. That is the aspiration. Guys, I hope you're all sharing this live stream for us because we want folks to get the credible information and only from the valid viewers. Guys, share the live stream. Well, you all know the cost of living going up. The cost of living going up. And again, I say, they're flinging money in the economy. They're telling me it's the fastest growing economy. They say how much they didn't give in a flood relief and COVID cash grant and all of. We am feeling it. Y'all feeling it? I'm not feeling it. I'm feeling it. And that is what the Alliance for Change said just today at a press conference. You had Kathy Hughes, you had you had David Patterson, you had Kemraj Ramjatan, you had Dr. Vincent Adams as part of that press conference. And what the ALC said is that, you know, if Guyanese, if the income tax threshold was adjusted to give Guyanese more disposable income, that would be more meaningful. And that would be more meaningful. So, but don't tell us about all this money you're throwing into the economy, of which really and truly the rich getting richer. Of which the rich getting richer. And just this morning, you know, I heard Sidney Armstrong, the economist from the University of Guyana, talking with Newsroom, and again outlining the very same thing. That 7% of somebody who earns $1 million is plenty money. 7% of 100,000 is different. So what he was saying, that there should be parity. Right? There should be parity with issues like that is concerned. And so the Alliance for Change in this press conference was saying, you have to, as part of that parity, is adjusting the income tax threshold. And on another issue, in the very same press conference, the Alliance for Change says it is time we restart and broaden electoral reform. Not look at it in this piecemeal fashion that really and truly benefits only the PPP. Not only in this piecemeal fashion that benefits only the PPP. Because it's only them and the boys making money in this country, you know, and folks, y'all know we are wrong. It's only them and the boys making all of the money. Less than lads, you know that is the case. Cheyenne Roberts, you know, it's only them and the clique, them and the cabal making money. Michelle McKay, Ramesh Prasad, y'all know we talking the truth here. It's only a few, and even the PPP supporters done fed up of them. Just over a year, 15 months, done fed up of them already. Done fed up of them. Right. Now, folks, we got catfish crying out. Confusion powder. Confusion powder. Look, we tell folks here, since August 2nd, 2020, it's confusion powder in this country. It's like a dark cloud. You ask anybody who visiting, they feel it more acutely than we who live here every single day. This is happening here, man. Things heavy. This place heavy. It's dark and dismal. It's heavy. Well, we saw recently Irfaan begging everybody. And just recently, he was begging the contractors. He said, build the damn things properly, the man. I'm begging y'all. When you get your little state contracts, build the thing properly. The man out there begging. That's what he was saying. The last time we saw Irfaan begging like this, you know as well? Last press conference that the Jagabat had. Folks, you ought to share the live stream tonight. The last press conference the Jagabat had. What was he begging about the last time? Oh, this money that they're flinging in the economy. This trickle-down economics they're talking about. They're begging them big businesses, oh, pass it down to the consumers. Now, you think them people got time with that? Money got for make. NASA? Ask hits and jams, money got for make. Ask any businessman in this country, they get time with passing down benefits to consumer. The man appealed to their moral responsibility. He appealed to the moral responsibility. Now, if you're a caring government, create the policies, the man. Create the policies that is going to cost them to pass this benefit down. Create the policies. Create the policies. And so at this meeting recently with contractors, he begging. Here we telling them, oh, right? We don't care if you get multiple contracts or what have you. But oh, do the work good now? He begging because he know the jagabats he got to deal with. He know half of them. And more than half of them rather. Who get them contracts? Never build nothing in their life. Never build nothing in their life. All you got to do to get contract with the people to build something is be a friend. Everybody who is friend and family getting contract. Everybody. You call a name and they getting contract, friends and family. Friends and family. So the man was begging, build the damn things properly now. He was clear. He said, I don't care how much contracts you got. Build it. And here, what else the man was begging for? The man said, oh, left something for the small man now. Yeah, I'll get in your 300 million contract, your 350 million contract, your 400 million. Left the small regional contracts for the small man now. Again, oh flip, create the policies, the man. That is going to ensure that the small man don't eat bread under the PPP. You know them boys that say, we got to eat the bread. The small man don't eat no bread under these jagabats. They don't. So he could beg how much he want. He could beg the businessmen to pass whatever benefit they think the money they're pitching at the economy and hope it jumpstarts it in some meaningful way. Hope that they pass it on. Don't put in regulations and so on. That ensures that. You go and you beg them, appeal to their, as Catfish said, appeal to their moral responsibility. And that is what he was doing again today with the contractors. Right? He's on a moral responsibility tour right now. Oh, moral responsibility. Do the work properly, the man. Right? You know what was missing from that discussion with the contractors? Conflict of interest. Conflict of interest, because we know lots of members of this installed administration got contracts. If they get contracts, they're cheering the contracts. Right? If they got a son, he wife got contracts, cleaning, drain, building some bridge, all kind of foolishness. Right? And it's the same people that build fireside balcony that tumble down, is them getting contract. Fireside got a place called Fireside Suites. And the balcony just get fed up and fall down. The balcony just get tired and fall down. Nothing unprospering under this government, you know. Nothing unprospering. Even the roaches trying to get a visa and fly out. They're trying to get a visa, the J&J booster, and beat out. Nothing happening here. A balcony just stays up, and fall out. That being said, folks, we invite you to share the live stream. Paul Seeram. Share the live stream, guys. Share the live stream. We are about to head into the main event. We got Team Harmon and his folks who are going to be joining us shortly. Heavenly Faith, Laverne Cameron, all you fantastic folks like Sukchan Sudhari. Good to see all of you guys. Paulette, Hawk, Kippins. Good to see you as well. Kesh Sharma. Good to see all you fantastic, beautiful, lovely, uncontroversial people. We Ringsiders quiet. I got some angels. Some pies won't harm a fly. I thank God for all of you. Good to see you guys. We are ready to head into the main event. Again, we have Team Harmon in the house this evening. And guys, share the live stream. I want to see those emojis. We want to see how you guys are feeling out there this evening, guys. And if you think you see anything yet in the ring, you let me see the tip of the iceberg. Hold on, the man. You understand me? Hold on, there, man. Guys, let's head into the main event. We got coming up. Team Joseph Harmon coming up, guys. Coming up, coming up, coming up, coming up, coming up. We want to see those emojis and we want to see those shares as well. I'm trying to find my way in my notes. Now you're all seeing everything that happens behind the scenes. We're going to be joined by Mr. Joseph Harmon himself. We're going to be joined by Daniel Seeram. I call him Captain. We're going to be joined by Shurla Scott. And we also going to be joined by the one and only Roysdale Forde. Now Roysdale got Anil on the toes. Roysdale got Anil on the toes. Anil and win nothing since they were installed in office. Anil and win nothing since he was installed in office. You know, there's some people have been saying it's not Anil, it's the seat that HE seat. Something you got to gyrate that seat. You got to scrub it out. You got to sprinkle some holy water and so on. It's not, but I think it's Anil. Anil and we're not Daniel, your name calling. Your name calling. Folks, let's welcome Team Harmon.
Yes.
Mr. Joe Harmon. We got Daniel Seeram is going to be joining us. Shurla Richardson. Where did I get Shurla Scott from? Sorry, Shurla Richardson, rather. And I'm so privileged to have all of these folks in the ring, guys. Share the live stream for us. We want the credible and valid information out there. We want it out there. Now, I'm so happy to see Mr. Harmon with us. How are you doing, sir?
Sir, I'm fine. I'm happy to be on your program tonight.
You look fired up, sir. You I don't know, you aging in reverse since this campaign started. It has done well for you.
Campaign brings out the best in me, Sherrod. It brings out the best in me.
Fantastic.
You know, I really was listening to your earlier comments. You know, they said that small man can't eat bread under the PPP. It's a fact.
Catfish begging them.
It's
begging
a fact.
The big contractors.
It's a fact. And not only the big contractor, the contractors who are close to the PPP, small contractors who are close to the PPP. You know, last week, I made this very point, Sherrod, that we don't have a public procurement commission. And the laws of Guyana, the constitution of Guyana, under Article 212W1, states that there shall be a public procurement commission, which deals with the transparency and all of these things that have to do with contracts. But you see, since this PPP regime came into office, they have dismantled that public procurement commission. They dismantled the National Procurement and Tender Administration Board and put in a set of people who are loyal to Jagdeo. So all of these contracts that you see being shared out, they are shared out without that oversight.
Irfaan is the commission.
Yeah?
Irfaan is the commission.
Yeah, so I have said this, that once the Public Procurement Commission gets back into place, we will insist that all of these contracts be reviewed, big and small. And if they can't review them properly, when we take office, we are going to review them. So I'm sounding this notice to all of these people who are getting these contracts without due process, without the process being observed, and that they will have to come up to scratch. Just as Jagdeo was saying that, oh, we can't recognize anything that was done after the motion.
Correct.
We can't recognize anything that was done before the establishment of a public procurement commission. So
Correct. And very well. And I know you have some of the other members of the team who are with us. We got Daniel Seeram and we got Shurla Richardson. So let's welcome them and let's start the discussion on how the campaign has been going. And I know there's an energy building for Team Harmon. Let's talk a little bit about that as well.
Yes, Sharon. I think that the team is energized. And you know, the reason why I went into what you were saying earlier is to emphasize the importance of these elections. Because, you know, it is a strong, unified PNC that the PPP is mortally afraid of. Because that strength and that energy feeds the APNU and it feeds the APNU AFC coalition. So they're afraid of that. And this is why these elections are so important, because it is the first step in moving to a position where we get rid of this cabal.
I like that term, get
Be it
rid.
2025 or before, this is to get rid of that cabal. And so this team that is here, the team Harmon, this is our single mission. But that's the second phase. Of course, the first phase is to be able to secure a win in these elections, and so that we can move the PNC onto a true path towards victory, towards getting into the office of the president, that we can provide the quality of governance that
And
this
proper
country needs,
leadership.
proper leadership, quality of
Yeah.
governance that this country needs at this time. But I'm
Fantastic. I
happy to
see
be here tonight
Shurla is
with
I
my
see
team.
Shurla is in the green room, but we don't see her video as yet. And as soon as she puts her video on, we're going to
Yeah,
have her on set. But I see
yes,
we have Captain with us this evening. And let me start by saying congratulations on all of the nominations.
yeah,
And we're going to talk about this whole thing about nominations and who get plenty and who get a little bit and all of whether that there's any stock
yeah,
in that. But first and foremost,
yeah.
congrats on the nomination, Mr. Harmon. Congrats on the nomination, Captain. And congrats also Shurla, who's going to join us. I think Shurla is set and ready to join us. Congratulations all. That being said, I mean, I know you guys. You know, we work together. I have the privilege of serving under Mr. Harmon as a parliamentarian. I know Danny. Danny's a Danny's a very very hard worker. But for those folks who don't know Danny, don't know Shurla, don't know these folks. Beginning with Shurla. Who is you? Who you be?
Good night, Sharon. Good night, comrades. Sharon, I'm happy to be here. And the question is, who am I? Who is Shurla Scott? And I want to start by simply saying that Shurla is a humble servant, a friendly face, someone you can reach out to, someone you can talk to, and someone that is very engaging to the comrades and by extension the country.
Great, fantastic, fantastic. And what about Captain? Apologies there. Great, Shurla. What about Captain? I know Captain. I can rattle off who Captain is, but who do you say you be?
Good evening to you, the Honorable Sheriff Duncan, the Honorable Joseph Harmon, and the distinguished Shirley Scott. It's a privilege to be on, and of course, good evening to our listeners and our viewers from all over. In the ring once again, and I'm pleased to be here, Sherrod. Keep up the good work. This evening, I'm pleased to be here. The reason we are here this evening, it's a testimony to the robustness of the democracy that lives in the People's National Congress reform. Currently, before you, you have candidates here on your show. Many other political parties don't have this type of transparency when they deal with the elections of there. But again, it points to how we treat democracy within the PNCR. Um, for reiteration, I am Daniel Seeram. I am currently the regional chairman of Region 4. More importantly, I look after the affairs of the people of Region 4 and ensure that the services and everything from the government gets to them. As you know, it's a tiring and challenging job as of recently. But more importantly, I'm pleased to be on your show this evening because by way of listening to my comrades, I was told that I was nominated for the position of treasurer here. And I must say, I must thank those comrades for those nominations. And I'm pleased to be a part of your show this evening. Just a little background on me for those who don't know. As you may have been hearing, Sherrod calling me captain. I would have served 12 years in the Guyana Defense Force in many roles there, most particularly as a field engineer. And I bring all of these skills and all of the service that I have given to this lovely country to the PNCR and directly giving them back to the people of Guyana.
Fantastic, fantastic, Captain. Thank you so much for that bit. And we are joined by the slayer of Nandalal in the courts, the one and only next Attorney General of this great nation of ours, Roysdale Forde. My brother, how are you doing? Roysdale? All right. That
Sharon,
being said,
Sharon, like we're getting a little technical problem with Roysdale.
all right,
Um,
we're going to circle back. We're going to circle back
yeah, let's talk
nonetheless
back to Sharon,
to
to
Roysdale.
Roysdale.
But that being said,
Yes, yeah.
I was saying early on, I saw one news report said, oh, somebody got 9 nominations and somebody got 15 and 20 and all that. Do you guys put any stock in that? I mean, I would be so proud to nominate it to serve. Period. Do you guys put any
Yes.
stock in how much nominations that you get and all that?
Sharon, the important thing is this: is that the team Harmon represents a team. It's a team effort, and therefore what you see before you tonight and what the comrades in the PNC see is a team that represents a very clear and positive vision for the future of this party, a vision that is with compassion. And so when we speak about the party, when we speak about these elections, we are looking to the future. Many persons look back and they're saying what they did and all of that, but what we have is, in fact, a sort of a 10-point plan on which we will move our party forward. And so the members of this team here tonight, Roysdale, who is being nominated for the position of chairman, Daniel, who has been nominated for the position of treasurer, Shurla as one of the committee members, and myself nominated as leader, that we bring that quality of leadership, we bring that quality of service, and we bring that vision to the PNC. And the point I need to make is that a lot of nominations maybe give you a bounce for a day or two, but it is all you need to get on the list for the elections is one nomination. That's all you need. One nomination. And so people say, well, I have 20 nominations, 30 nominations, and so on. It is, in fact, what the delegates believe. And this is the important thing. As we go all across this country, the delegates are saying to us, we like your vision for our party. We like what you're doing, and we want to support you. We want to see you in this position of leadership. We love your team, and we love what the team has done and what they're saying. So I believe that what we have is a clear path for our delegates, for our party comrades, to see that we are not just about talk, but we walk our talk. We do what we say we will do, and we have promised our party comrades that this is what we will do for them in the future. And so I believe my team here tonight, my comrades here tonight, will elaborate on those 10 points that we're campaigning on all across this country. And this is what is firing up the comrades. This is what is getting them so excited about these elections. And this is what not even only our own comrades, but people outside of the party, people are asking, look, could I vote? But I just want to remind everyone that this is a PNC elections, and these elections are the voters in these elections are the delegates who have been elected by their party groups to come to the Congress. And so we are happy for all of these wonderful sentiments, and we like them to keep coming because it gives us that encouragement. And you were saying that how I look energized, how I look young and fresh and so on. It is because of all of these positive vibes that we are getting every single day from all across this country, but more importantly, from the members of our party and the delegates who have been identified by the groups in our party. So that is why.
Fantastic. And I think Roysdale is prepared to join us.
Yes.
Isn't? Look, listen, folks. We say whoever come in the fight last got to buy drinks for the whole team and the Ringsiders. So Roysdale, you got to get your checkbook.
Yeah.
Whenever Roysdale joins us. You know, y'all have been talking about the vision of the team. And I want to pick up on that because I think more than the nomination is what you guys are going to do. Whether Mr. Seeram got 10 nominations or 30 is what you're going to do for the party at the end of the day. And you said something that I found was quite interesting. You talked about a vision of compassion, maybe beginning with Carla. what does that mean? What is this 10-point vision and this vision of compassion? That sounds interesting.
Thank you, Sharad. The vision of compassion is very impactful at this time because in a country and in a time where there's a lot of uncertainties, people need to know that they are able to connect with a team that is touched with their feelings, that is touched with their needs, that can relate to them in the everydays of life. And that is one of the things the team is bringing to the core, the spirit of compassion. And we have been able to move across the country and see the impact of that compassion from the team as they relate to the various comrades in the country. One of the things I want to highlight is that people will always remember you for what you would have done for them and not so much of how many things you can say to them. And Team Harmon would have stand out in many ways in bringing that compassion to the core.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And Captain, you can jump in there if you have your own thoughts on what that vision is.
That's the thing here, Sherrod. The Harmon Teen 10-point plan in going forward for this political party is something that really takes you back because it begins with a simple plan in terms of unifying the party. And that is what we need right now. I think the unity that is needed right now, and you always hear Comrade Harmon preaching it to us every day as we go out. And every time we go into a community and we do these outreaches and we listen to the comrades, the first pillar there is unity. And I believe that is one of the major points coming out of this 10-point plan that Mr. Harmon has put in. He also, through these plans, we speak to reconnecting to the rich heritage, reintroduction of education, of training, looking into women and youth affairs. We're looking after the party groups coming up. But all of that is great. But more importantly, the 10-point plan culminates with the 10th point, which is to ultimately remove the PPP from government. And that is the vision of the
The
Harmon
most
Party,
important of the points.
coupled with the points in between that adds to the compassion of the Harmon team. And I think that's magnificent because you start with unity. You start with building the party on the different pillars and on the different tiers. And most of all, we have a main objective and end state, which is to ultimately remove the PPP from government.
Fantastic. And that's a powerful the last point there, because that is has to be the ultimate objective of not only the party but the coalition.
Yeah.
And now as you have said that, Mr. Harmon, I saw Daniel talked about unity being one of the key pillars, as it were, of the 10-point plan. We saw a couple of days ago when it was nomination day. I don't think we ever had a chance to talk since then. There was a meet and greet, as it were, of you and your rival for the post of leader, Mr. Norton. What
Yeah.
led to that, and what did you come out of that thinking?
Sharon, let me say this, that Aubrey Norton and I are friends. We've worked together for many years. Richard Van West Charles and I are friends. We've worked together for many years. These are all my comrades in the PNC. And so while we may be competing for a particular position, which the democracy in our party allows, it allows for any member who is financial, who is a delegate, to be elected to offer themselves up for a position from leader all the way down. And so on the day of nomination, I saw Aubrey and I went across to him because even though we are fiercely competing, we are still friends. I still WhatsApp him. He WhatsApp me some mornings. So if there's something there that he sees, he says, "What's this say, why?" And so this sort of spirit of camaraderie is there, and I do believe that at the end of this process, whatever happens, and I've made this point before and all the time I make it, that at the end of this process, whoever comes out to be the leader of this party, that I, Joseph Frederick Harmon, am prepared to work with that person to ensure our party is unified and that we are able to form a strong bond that can move us into office to get rid of the PPP. So that is important, and that was that picture which was taken out. I don't think it was something which was a photo up, as I would say. It was I saw my friend, I went over to him, and we spoke. So that is really what it was. It was all about. But the question of unity is so critical to us, Sharad. And I'm not, when we speak about unity, we're not just talking about unity at the top. It goes all the way down to the groups. And I believe that one of the first steps that we will need to take after these elections is to ensure that we reach out to all of those comrades who would have felt sidelined or felt angry or something with the party for some reason or the other, that we reach out to them and bring them back home. This is what is going to strengthen us at the core, bringing back home those members of our party who would have left for some reason or the other. And I'll give you an example of this. A few weeks ago, I was going to do a campaign meeting in Region 3. And before my meeting, some of the comrades who were doing the outreaches before called me to say that there was a gentleman at the Deskendron who was angry with the party. He needed to speak to me. So I asked, I said, well, who is this comrade? And they told me who the comrade was. And I told them to tell him I will come to his house tomorrow and we will sit down eyeball to eyeball and we will sort out our problems. As it turns out, when I went there, he had a problem with the fact that he did not see me in the community for about a year or so. Well, I had to explain to him that I'd been in that community at least 5 or 6 times during the course of that year, and I stopped at his house, but he was never there. So somebody who was at the house verified that statement, and he said, well, you know, I live overseas as well, so sometimes I go and come. And that was his problem. And so we were able to mend fences. We took a hug, and we said, we are back good together. We are better together. And so this is what sometimes people need. They just need to reach out. They need to see the leadership eyeball to eyeball and to say, what is the problem? And we fix it. And I do believe, Sharad, that our party, the comrades who support us, who have been with us from since Forbes Burnham left the PPP and established the People's National Congress, that those comrades are still there with us. Many of them I know hurt, and they hurt sometimes based on what happens at an election. But certainly, these are issues which I believe we can get over. And this is what we need to do. We have to reach out. The groups, we have to start at that level. At the level of the groups, we have to start that healing. So the group levels, we have to bring back people in the groups, and from the group, we come all the way up. I believe that that is what is important to us. Many Guyanese, many pastors all across this country are praying for us. And I believe that once we accept those prayers, they change things. I believe in prayers. I believe that prayers change things. That is a grand design by the Almighty for us to get back into office. So we just got to do the right things. And I believe that one of the first steps is to basically unify our party, and we move forward like that.
Great, great. I know as we're talking about that little meet and greet with you and Aubrey Norton there during nomination day. You know, some persons have been thinking that, you know, the campaign has perhaps gotten a little too aggressive with some of what has been said, some of the literature. You know, they think that there's a little too much attacking of persons. And I can tell you that picture of you and Aubrey shaking hands was one of the pictures that sell off on social media. That they had a lot of likes, a lot of comments. And so I think if you use that as a barometer in terms of people wanting a unified party, you're in a good place. But
Yes.
to folks like Danny and Shurla, do you guys think perhaps that the candidate has an unfair advantage in a sense? Because some of what I've been seeing in some of the literature coming out of the campaign is that Harmon has built this party office, has built that party office, has built, while some persons might saying, I want to build and I want to extend. You seem to have already done that. You seem to have already
Yes.
covered a lot of ground where that is concerned. Do you think
Yes.
the candidate is at an unfair advantage in that sense? Perhaps?
All right. I think you're asking that. Shirley, you want to take that?
Cheryl or Daniel?
Or Danny?
Danny's hearing us?
You're losing?
Sherrod, I don't quite understand the question.
No, I'm
Because
just asking if you think
I
if you
think that my candidate at this point in time for leadership is the best candidate at this time. And I mean, you spoke to some of the things that the candidate has done, tangible successes that we speak about here, right? It's not for me to speak on the disadvantages of any other candidate or so, but this is what we do in a democracy. We choose the best to lead us in the situation that we are in. And our choice of candidate here is Comrade Harmon. And what we would have seen, I mean, sometimes we go into some areas and we have to be, I know for the first time, and Comrade Harmon is reminded of what he has done for those areas. And, because of his generosity, because of that compassion in his leadership style, we see that, he's reminded very pleasantly by the comrades of what he had done. So, you know, everyone has 24 hours in a day, and everyone has a choice in how they spend those 24 hours. And my choice for leadership here chose to spend a little bit more time on the people with his 24 hours. And that is all I have to say to that.
Yes.
great, great. Shurla?
Yeah, sure. Thank you. It is a very interesting question, but my position on that is that evidence must speak for itself. If we are going forward as a party, if we are going forward as a people, we must have tangible, as my colleague and comrade would have just mentioned, we must have tangible evidence that we can sit on to say that, yes, these are the things that we have seen before and we can expect more to come. And our comrade and leader, Joseph Harmon, would have already set that platform for us. And we stand confident knowing that we not only sit on an identity of having a solid party, but we know his ability in going forward and making the PNCR even greater in the new day.
Sherrod, if I may,
Right ahead.
here, right?
Yeah, right ahead.
I am vying for the position here, and I've been nominated for the position by
I was
my
coming there.
comrades.
Right ahead.
I am nominated for the position here by my comrades for treasurer of the great PNCR. And one of the things of our founder leaders was getting into viable projects for the party, so that we can have a better life, so that we could have that we could have that sustainability within the party in terms of rebuilding our assets, modernizing our assets. And a part of my choice for leader here, Comrade Harmon, he has demonstrated that even out of being in an office. I mean, in 2018, Comrade Harmon didn't accede to the seat of chairman. And between that time to now, as comrades throughout the length and breadth of Guyana by now should know, that he would have undertaken some massive infrastructural developments within the various regions that were able to benefit from those. And these are not just fly-by-night projects. These are projects that took a lot of conceptualizing, garnering of resources to actually have something that you can stand in and be proud of. And this is going back to the founder leader here, in which he wanted to build everything so that his people can utilize them, not only as shelters, but also as economic hubs, as also as areas that they can go and learn, and also areas they can go and train, areas that they can go for welfare issues in order to get counseling, mentorship. And I think in a way, Comrade Harmon has already showed us that in terms of what he has done and through his 10-point plan and through the leadership team, of course, taking the policy direction from the central executive. I'm sure we can execute much more in that way. And all of this will come with prudent management, of course. And ultimately, through all of these successes, is just a stepping stone, of course, and I hit on it again, of getting us back into government.
Great, 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 Daniel. And as you on that point of being nominated for treasurer of the PNCR, I think there's a certain kind of discipline about you. Maybe that is your background in the armed forces. What else do you think kind of makes you suited for the role of treasurer?
Well, well, Sherrod, remember, it's not I said that I went there. I was reposed with this by the comrades in the People's National Congress reform, and they have put this.
Do you think that you can do it?
Yes, I can. Of course, when you're called to serve, you must give your best, and I think that I've been equipped over my years. I've been trained by the government to deal with specific areas of management, prudent management, that is, whether it be fiscal management, resource management, or personnel management. And the whole thing is that the PNCR is always a rich and wealthy party. And right now, going forward, we can just ensure that it's even more economically viable by crafting better policies through the central executive and new leadership, and also having all of the office bearers being on the same sheet of music going forward. Of course, issues in terms of accountability and transparency must be paramount there. And the being paramount there is also giving leverage to the sustainability and survivability of any political or any organization as it is. When you think about an elections is a great investment, and you want the best candidates to manage that investment going forward. Not only the best candidate, but the best leadership team with that candidate there as treasurer to manage those resources and finances going forward there. So yes, I think at this point in time, I am the best candidate vying for the position of treasurer for our party, being able to work along with the leader, general secretary, other officers, and of course, ultimately being guided by the policies of the Central Executive Committee.
Fantastic. Now I
So,
want to come to Shurla business and find out what did they nominate Shurla for. Shurla, are in your business now.
Sherrod, I was nominated for the position of Central Exec member, one of which I am honored and humbled. I would have seen the many nominations coming out of my very own region. I am very thankful for the vote of confidence from my region and by extension, the regions of Guyana. I would have served actively and engagingly since my entrance into politics with a view of improving the lives of our comrades. I am currently serving as the group chairman of a party group in Corriverton. I am the regional secretary of the People's National Congress Reform. I am the lead councillor of the coalition opposition at the Regional Democratic Council. I am the outgoing chair of the National Congress of Women, District 3. I served as campaign coordinators for both local government elections. I serve as deputy campaign manager for the recently held general and regional 2020 elections.
Somebody's been busy.
Yes, I am busy and I am ready. Cheryl, I am not afraid to communicate a clear message with a balance, even if it's an unpopular opinion. I am not afraid to voice the representations and concerns of my comrades and constituencies. I function through a servant heart, and I believe I am positioned and able enough to contribute. Reason why I would have gained political muscles over the years coming into politics, surrounded by great leaders like Comrade Harmon, my colleague Daniel Seeram, my colleague Roysdale Forde, and those that I had the opportunity to engage with actively. And I believe that I'm able to add value. My interest is adding value to the party by extension
I
and
love
improving
that.
the lives of the people and the comrades.
I love that. I really love that. Adding value. That's very, very important. Mr. Harmon, I see an ensemble of your team here this evening, but I am made to understand that they got a lot of people we couldn't fit on this program this evening. Tell us a little bit about some of the other folks that are on this slate. I know Roysdale owe us dinner, you owe us breakfast, and probably lunch also. Is he there? Mr. Harmon.
Team, and this is a team that offered themselves to serve. Nobody was picked. They offered their service, and that is
And
something
nobody was
that
forced either.
they offer their service. And so, for the position of leader, I have offered my service, and for the position of chairman, Mr. Roysdale Forde has offered his service. For the position of vice chairpersons, Annette Ferguson and Christopher Jones. For the position of treasurer, Daniel Seeram. But apart from the folks who are on this program, we have a rich, diverse team that brings that quality of service to the PNC. And we have, I think, 23 persons, from which the central executive is 15, and the commoners will be asked to select 15 out of that. So we have people from all of the regions. We have from Region 1, Ronald Cox, who is a teacher, an indigenous representative, very proud indigenous representative of the people of Region 1. He comes from Mabaruma, Richard Cox. We have Shurla Scott, who is on the other end of Guyana, and she's from Corriverton. In between there, we have people from all the other regions. Region 7, where we were last Saturday, Veronica Charles, very powerful community worker. We have Gifford Marshall, who is now serving as the mayor of Bartica. And we have folks all over. We have Geeta Chandan, who is a former magistrate, a member of parliament now. We have Coretta MacDonald, who is a very powerful community leader, a leader in the trade union movement, a leader in the Guyana Teachers Union. We have Javon Stevens, who is a community worker and a businessman in New Amsterdam. We have Darren Adams, who is the regional chairman for Region 10. And so we have a lot of folks who sometimes people don't see every single day, apart from those who are members of parliament that you can interact with and see every single day, that are not on this program. We have people like Dr. Astel Collins, who is an internationally acclaimed person who lectures internationally. We have Randy Critchlow, who is normally behind the camera, and I know is a very strong advocate. He's advocated very clearly his position about what happens to our young people, what happens to the underprivileged, what happens to those persons who are unable to make ends meet, for whom the benefits of this country are not trickling down. Those persons in our party who need that help. And so I can say to you that we have a very strong mix, a real mixture of what represents Guyana. And I am very proud that these persons have offered themselves to serve this great party, and that under my leadership, that they will grow and grow into very strong members of parliament, strong ministers of government, strong prime ministers, and strong presidents. Not like what this thing that we have going on right now.
True. I know I wanted the viewers to know that I got some people who's come to church for the amen. They got some who could time a pot good that's just come on time. And then I got Roysdale Forde. But I tell people who come to the fight late, got for sponsored dinner, got to do breakfast, they got to do lunch to make amends. That being said, Roysdale, I know that you're being nominated for chairman. Why are you suited for chairman of this great party?
Thank you, Sherrod, for inviting me. But Sherrod, you know, I've been here at the beginning of your show. I've been in the waiting room. So you had me waiting. So I'm going to buy my horse anyway.
This man's a lawyer, though. This man's a lawyer. Here, the man make his case.
No, I actually took a picture, you know, to see how long I've been.
Go right ahead, Roysdale.
Now, Sherrod, I've been nominated for the office of chairman of the People's National Congress. Sherrod, this is a very important office in the party. It's actually the second highest office in the party, and is an office of great importance. The constitution of the PNC, our party, says that the chairman of that party is designated with the responsibility to conduct and chair meetings of the party and to be assigned such other duties as the leader may direct. Another important function of the office of chairman, Sherrod, is that that person acts as the leader in absence or vacancy in respect of that office. But Sherrod, I believe that my nomination to the office of chairman, to contest the office of chairman of the party, I believe is a recognition by the members and the supporters of the party of the years of work that I would have been putting in for the past over 20 years. I would have been representing members of the party, supporters of the party. And I believe that my work, especially as a member of parliament over the past 2 years, from 2020 to now, in relation to the numerous cases we would have instituted, in relation to the fights that we would have taken to court, fighting against this oppressive government and this installed government, would have shown to the members of the party that need somebody like me who will be able to stand up to this PPP, whilst having an eye on the affairs of the People's National Congress reform.
Good, Roysdale. All good things there. And as I have you, Roysdale, and as we wrap up, I want to ask you, as I will ask the other members, Shurla and Danny, and then finally Mr. Harmon, what are your thoughts to the people of the party? You know, you are a couple of days out, about 2 weeks out from the Congress of itself, that 21st Biannual Delegates Congress. What are your thoughts to the party membership, especially the delegates, this evening?
Well, Sherrod, I believe that this Congress is a very important Congress. It's a Congress in which we will not only be electing the fifth leader of the People's National Congress reform, but it's a time in which we must identify the sort of leadership that we need. I believe that the party and its members will be looking for leaders that are visionary, that would have commitment and humility. I believe that that is the sort of leadership that we need at this time to take the party forward. I believe that I'm possessed of the skills, and I believe that members of my team are possessed of the skills. But we must believe also, Sherrod, that we can beat the PPP, and I believe our program outlines a roadmap or a pathway in which we will be able to get back into government, we'll be able to reconcile our differences within the party. And additionally, Sherrod, I believe that one of the important elements that I would like to pursue as the chairman of the party is finally establishing the party's financial independence as an organization. I believe that that is very important. I believe also we need to establish our party groups as sources of economic power, economic engines of growth and sustainability for our members. And I believe this is a serious area in which this new central executive and this new leadership will have to focus on. And if elected, this will be a center of my personal plans and commitment as the chairman of this party.
Great. Thanks, Roysdale. Shurla, what are your thoughts to the membership and delegates tonight?
Yeah, sure. Thanks again. My first thought is that we should stay focused. Our common mission here is to unseat the PPP. The PPP is our real enemy, and we should always have that in focus. One of the things that is important at the dawning of a new day for this party as we are approaching this biannual Congress is that we come to an understanding that a house divided against itself cannot stand. And we should not encourage, subscribe, or support any form of division going forward. Even as a woman in the party, I would have recognized that the women would have contributed to over 80% of the foundation of the party. And coming into this new day that we are so looking forward for, I believe that Team Harmon, and I know that we have a plan and a focus with women in mind. We have a plan and a focus with empowering our women. And we have a 4-point approach, Sherrod. And if you would allow me to share a little on that, because we missed it a little bit, but I think it is important that we shine light on our women, because we are the bedrock of the People's National Congress reform. We are the ones that hold the hands of our male partners and
The
give them
bedrock and the backbone.
and backbone. Thank you very much. And Shred, I'm talking about the approach where we strive to empower our women. And the 4 point is about self security, sustainability, and story. And I want to quickly hone in on that. When we speak about self, it is a position of service, strengthening opportunities for our women academically, and creating leadership pathways for political participation. It is seeing our women moving forward and being relevant and coming into their own strength as political leaders. It is ensuring through security that they are able to be employable by building capacity for them. It is ensuring that they are sustainable by ensuring that they become again the economic bedrock of the party. I could have recalled in conversations lately that I was reminded that our women were the bedrock, the economic bedrock of the People's National Congress reform through the WRSM coming into the National Congress of Women. And these are some passionate postures that I have once elected to support, enhance, and reinforce the best practices that makes our women great and relevant again in this impactful world. Finally, Sherrod, what I want to touch on is the story. One of the things we would have found is that the women in the party have had rich stories that were unsung. And one of the outputs coming into this Congress is to ensure that the stories and the contributions and the sacrifices that our women in politics make are heard, are celebrated, are known, so that the emerging female politicians that are coming in can have something to reflect, celebrate, and move forward in.
Very well, Shirley. Thanks very much for that. Danny, 18 days out from the 21st Biannual Delegates Congress. What are your thoughts?
Evening, and thanks to everyone that's looking on. Uh, I can say here clearly that to our delegates and to everyone who is watching, that this is a critical time. This is the 21st Biennial Congress of the People's National Congress Reform. And here we have such a Congress for a political party actually taking the stage, taking the national stage and the international stage. With that being said, it only shows the importance of our elections towards getting back into government. And it is basically choosing that leadership team to get back into government there. When you, at any point in time, you ask Team Harmon to assemble, you will see a body of great men and women, all very competent in their own right, right? From varying parts of the country, from varying parts of the country, to varying background, diverse in every single way. But more importantly, we hit on the issue of competence here within that team, right? We do not make the decisions that we have to do based on the emotional aspect of it, but we make them based on where we want to go basically. And here we have it that Team Harmon starts out with the point of unity, and that point is crucial at this point in time. We I mean, I think every single presenter here this evening spoke on unity, and I heard Shirley just say that a house divided cannot stand, and that is where we are. The nightmare of the PPP is a united PNCR, and I say it again: the nightmare of the PPP is a united PNCR, and that is where we are going from here in this 21st Biennial Delegates Congress. And you will, and I urge you all delegates to vote Team Harmon. Vote Comrade Harmon as the leader. Vote Comrade Roysdale Forde as the chairman. We have Comrade Annette Ferguson as our vice chair. Comrade Chris Jones as one of our vice chairs. Comrade Shurla on here with us, the Central Executive Committee. And you'll see the names coming out. You can see such names as Comrade Ganesh Maipal, which has already been noted to be our General Secretary designate. And we have Comrade Coretta McDonald, Natasha Singh Lewis, Ronald Cox, and a whole host of persons coming from a diverse background to start making the necessary decisions we need to get back into government. I do not look at this 21st biennial delegates Congress as just choosing a leadership for the PNCR, but for choosing the government that you deserve. Because obviously everyone else is already fed up
True.
with the way the
True.
country is currently being governed by the installed PPP regime. And they look forward to that competent, compassionate leadership with a vision, and that is committed to getting us there. So I remind you all at this point in time that this is our team. Comrade Harmon doesn't stand alone. He stands with a team, and that is the collective effort that we work with to ensuring the PNCR is the greatest political party in the country. Of course, along with our partners too, right, Sherrod? But more
Yeah.
importantly,
Part is important.
just before I go, we don't we don't only talk the talk, but Team Harmon has been visiting communities throughout the length and breadth of Guyana, and we see the necessary changes that have to take place. With the 10-point plan, it wasn't just crafted overnight and pulled out of the air. It was crafted after great thoughts were put into it, and as we go into the regions, as we go into the party groups, we see some of the issues that need to be rectified. And trust me, with the competent leadership of the Harmon team, you will have those rectified within those regions and within those party groups. You know, as I said before, it's not just talking about it, it's understanding what are the issues, sitting together and making these decisions. We're in the consultation process right now, always having thorough discussions, and through our leadership invested in Comrade Harmon and the other members, we will be making the informed decision to move us forward as a political party, as a political movement, and more so as the government that you truly deserve. Thank you.
Great. I like that note of a government in waiting, the government that you think this country deserves. So, as goes the party, as goes the next government. Mr. Harmon, what are your thoughts? Very critical moment in the history of the party in a few days. What are your thoughts on membership and delegates, especially the people who matter?
And I know that Shurla has spoken extensively about our focus on women, our focus on youth, but I just want to highlight some of the other strong women that we have on our slate that's important for the delegates to understand. We have Miss Natasha Singh Lewis, Dr. Dawn Stewart, Coretta McDonald, Maureen Philadelphia, Jennifer Ferreira Dugal, Nima Flu Bess, Don Hastings Williams, Dr. Karen Cummins, Janet Obomola, Veronica Charles. These are all women who are
Yeah. Yeah.
basically leading this charge, and it's very important that we understand that the women, as Shurla says, they are the bedrock of our party, and they're the base on which a lot of work which we do as a party stand. But Sharon, let me say this to the delegates also, and I want to reemphasize my commitment to the unity of our party. And that once elected into office, the thing I will do immediately is to ensure that we focus on unifying our party. And that means giving instructions to the new chairman, who will be Comrade Roysdale Forde, to the general secretary, Comrade Ganesh Maipal, and I will say to them, look, comrades, I will need a report on the state of party groups across this country. And I'm giving you 1 month in which to prepare that report on the state of the party. And based on that finding, we will prepare that detailed plan that we spoke about. I elaborated on a little earlier about how we will unify this party. So that is important. The second thing I want to say is that the last few days of a campaign is always very hectic. And I want to say to all of our comrades, let us remember that this is an internal election and that we should not wash our linen, our any dirty linen in the public. That we are committed to ensuring that the campaign remains clean. I have seen in circulation a post which I had done thanking the persons who had nominated me and the team on nomination day, thanking them all across the country for that. The people here in Guyana and in the diaspora, which is also another region of the party. And someone, and I do believe this is the work of the PPP, someone took that very healthy, positive post and inserted a very scurrilous statement about one of the other candidates. I basically say, I want to say tonight that we disagree with that altogether. We'll never get to that stage in our campaign on the Harmon team where we run down any other comrade who is on the other side or any other side. We will not do that. And I'm asking all of our comrades to remember that we are, at the end of this, we will still have to work together as a party so that we can weld ourselves into that force which will get rid of the PPP. And that is very critical. I think it is clear for all of us to understand that the PPP is what we have to work against. Already in this country, we are seeing the impact of an uncaring, impact of a corrupt regime that has no interest in the ordinary man and women in this country, whose main interest is in their business friends, whose main interests are those persons who have supported them and those persons who are family and friends. And so the whole rest of Guyana, they are left out of the economic wheel of this country. And I want to say to the delegates that in electing the Team Harmon, that what you are electing is a team that will reinvigorate the PNC, renew hope in our party membership, and review all of those structures which have gone into disrepair and to fix those things. But certainly, the reform of the party is well on the way. I believe that with my team, that we can accomplish those things for our comrades. And we will bring this party to a point where people will be proud again of saying, I am a member of the PNC. People will want to come in and join us who are sitting on the fence. Already we are seeing people are making statements as if they want to come back those who have left. And I believe that with the right leadership, the leadership under Joseph Harmon and his team, that all of those persons who are sitting on the fence will say, yes, boy, time to come back home. And this is the reason why everybody and the grandmother interested in what is happening in the PNC election. So all over the place, everybody commenting on this, commenting on that, because they don't want to see a united PNC. And this is what we're about. This is what I believe these elections will bring about, a united PNC. The campaign itself is reinvigorating our base. Our base, irrespective of which candidate they support, they're actually now coming out. And that is an important thing for us. We have to now capture that energy, which this campaign is now bring about, to transfer it into an energy that is against the PPP, that will take us into victory in another elections. And let me make this last point, that we are saying for all of the reforms that are taking place at GCOM, the reforms that are taking place in the Representation of People's Act, that the first priority must be a cleansing of the voters list. That is the first priority. It's not reform. No, I don't care what you're talking about. It must be cleansed, and we believe that a viable process for cleansing of that list is house-to-house registration. We believe that is what is important. So you can talk how much you want, but the list got to be cleaned up. And I think that with a revived, energized PNC, that our members will now start to focus on these issues that affects their daily lives, affect them on a day-to-day basis, and say, you know what, time for the PPP to go. Time for strong PNC. Time for Joe Harmon and his team. Joe Harmon and his team. The team and Joe is the way to go. I thank you, comrades.
Great. Excellent. And thanks to you guys as well for availing yourselves to be in the ring this evening. Yourself, Mr. Joe Harmon, Shurla Richardson, we had Daniel Seeram, and of course, the one and only Roysdale Forde, who owes us dinner, breakfast and lunch. Guys, thank you so much. I know it's a busy campaign trail out there. You guys are on the ground doing what you got to do to secure your victory on, I think it's December 11th, for the 21st Biannual Delegates Congress of the PNCR, as you guys decide on the new leadership cadre of leaders for the party there. Thank you guys for sparing us the time in the ring this evening. Thank you all.
Thank you, Sherrod.
Thank you, Sherrod.
I like your background. I like your background. You look like CNN.
Thank you, folks, for your kind thoughts. Thank you, viewers, for sticking with us. Ringsiders, thank you as well. And again, thanks to Team Harmon for coming in the ring with us. We spoke with Vandus Charles and supporter Ms. Vanessa Kissoon recently as well. And we know that Sharma Rahim Solomon will be with us in the near future. We had some technical difficulties last night. We were supposed to have Sharma Solomon with us, and also Amanza Walton Desir, who owes us a visit as well, and some of the other folks contending for the various posts there in the PNCR as the PNCR decides 2021. Thank you guys for sticking around with us. Heaven, faith. Every time we talk about spiritual things, we got to bless ourselves. Janet Edwards, great to see you guys as well. Marcia Agar, thanks for staying with us. And I see Odwin Lake is here as well. And these are the hardcore Ringsiders guys, irrespective of who you support in this race for the PNCR. We know that we're going to have a unified party at the end of it all. George Allman, good to see you, or George Annan rather. Good to see you there, Claire. Alexis Chomley, Richmond. Good to see you, Claire. Guys, we're still tweaking what we're doing at the back of this side. We got miles to go. Stay with us. Partner with us. That is so important, folks. We got so many platforms that you guys can help us to continue to expand. You see what we've been doing with the things y'all giving us? You see that? Sporily, so good to see you today. That little visit reinvigorated me to continue to do what we're doing. Marcia Agard and Sharon Eastman, we love all of you guys. Guys, we do this because of you, because of your help, because you guys come on board and you partner with us. I see the little logo blocking. We're little powered by you at the top. You want nothing black, we powered by you, Ringsiders. We got to stick in Ringsiders, powered by Ringsiders. Guys, you see you have the Cash App platform there. It's a $ in the ring 592. You got PayPal, it's in the ring 592 at gmail.com. You got MMG, it's 6276963. And also you can send us a little bits of information, news, photograph, videos on that same WhatsApp number. 6276963 is our MMG number and our WhatsApp number as well. We're available on the platforms to Western Union and MoneyGram as well. If you need any guidance, WhatsApp that same number, 6276963. Guys, we've done it a year plus with your help, and we know that you guys are going to keep coming on board and help us to move forward. Everything you see on this program, it is because of you. Every aspect, new aspect, the old aspect, it is because of you, and we want nothing but the best for Nikki Innes and Gavin Holder and Loretta Roberts and Aldwin Lake. All of you fantastic folks, guys, come on board and partner with us, and let's continue to grow from strength to strength as we present to you the credible information. We continue to present to you the valid facts, guys, just for you, because we know that you guys are going to make intelligent decisions afterwards. So we're defending the truth and we're promoting the facts. Thanks for joining us in the ring, guys. See you back here tomorrow. And those folks who are going to come back and watch us, remember to share the live stream. And those who haven't done it as yet, share before you go. And we want to see those emojis as well, guys. Stay safe, social distance, wear your mask, sanitize, practice all the COVID-19 protocols that are in place for your health and your safety. Joshua Young, that of your friends, family, and loved ones. I see Corinne Isaacs. Have a good evening and stay safe. Thanks for joining us in the ring, folks. That's our program.